Looks like it has started. All right, this is Terry and Sarah Lynn in the backyard. I'm standing in a different part of the yard, behind the enclosed screen. It's got these, I don't know what these tall leafy plants are.
They're birds of paradise.
Birds of paradise. They're starting to put on flowers. That's a powder puff there. This side yard we call the dog yard because that's where we put the dogs when they're out to run. And those are fig trees that we put in a couple of years ago. They produce constantly, but I think the squirrels get the figs before we get a chance to get them. And then Barbara's passion flowers, red and purple passion flowers. And then this is the big project that we've got going on well, I'll point up at the tower for those of you that are amateur radio buddies. 70 feet to the top of the tower, well, maybe 72, and then that's a 15-foot mast up on top with two 440 and 6-meter Yagis on the very top. And then that's the Force 12 from W8QK, two elements on 40 meters, linear loaded, and then an interlaced full-size Yagis on 10, 15, and 20. And it's just a gorgeous day here in De Leon Springs. So I'm coming down, and this is Sarah Lynn's project. She's been working on this now for, I guess, 2 months. And she's busy putting up her mesh that allows the climbing plants to climb the mesh and like pole beans and things like that. So what have we got here, Sarah Lynn? What's at the very end?
So this is a watermelon. It's called a Moon and Stars watermelon. This little guy right here.
Okay.
And it should get fruit that's about 25 to 50 pounds.
Okay, and then the next one?
This is a type of squash. It's a zucchini squash, specifically. A Ford Hook zucchini squash. It's the first time I've grown this variety of zucchini, so it'll be interesting to see how it does in the late summer, early autumn, winter time frame here.
Okay.
Then the next thing that is growing are these little guys over here, which are tomatoes. They are beefsteak tomatoes, and
those will get big.
They'll get big, but currently they have stayed the tiniest out of everything. Everything in this row was planted at the same time. Then over here you have a yellow squash, the yellow summer squash, and another type of zucchini. And then we have my lovelies. These guys are growing like mad, and they're a type of cowpea. They're actually, those are the cowpeas down there. These are pink eye purple hull peas. So they're going to be like black-eyed peas, except they have a pink and purple tinge to them.
Okay.
Over there are some bush peas, generic variety.
Okay.
And that's actually what the majority of that row is. It's just a bush pea.
So we should have a mess of peas coming in at some point.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're garden peas, sugar snap peas type. Then this is a different type of pea. You can get the general feel for what peas look like. These are Burpiana early peas.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a lovely, another type of squash. This is a Cocozelle summer squash.
Mm-hmm.
It looks kind of like a zucchini in color, except it has stripes of a yellowy green color going down the side.
We probably have another 2 months before we have the danger of frost. So we'll probably get all of this stuff to come in this fall and winter.
Most of the time, our frost days aren't until late January, early February, so we should have the majority of the harvest in. Then we have a beefsteak tomato, and those are going to be Brandywine tomatoes. It's an heirloom variety that I picked because of Dad playing at the Brandywine Tennis Club.
Ah.
And then these are a type of watermelon. Or no, these ones are winter squashes, and this is a watermelon.
Okay.
And this winter squash is a kind of like an acorn squash.
So what do you call this planting technique? I know you saw it at Daytona State College.
Well, planting in the bags I saw at not Daytona State, but Florida Atlantic University. Mom and I used to drive past the fields where they had them planted. This is the cow peas that I was talking about.
Okay.
And they actually already have little
Looks
purple
like the
flowers
insects
on
have
them.
stayed off of them so far. It looks
So
like
far.
everything's doing well. And of course, with this black paper down in between the bags, we don't have any weeding. That's been the best part of this thing.
And the bags had been treated for weeks before we bought them, so we don't have any weeds coming up from the bags themselves. I think I picked 3 weeds from all the bags so far.
Wow.
So definitely decent. So Florida Atlantic University had these rows of bags, but then the way that I planted inside of them is a method called square foot gardening.
Okay.
These are spaghetti squashes. And then this is a different variety of green garden beans. Just regular green beans.
Mm-hmm.
Go away, mosquito. Then we have another squash. This one is actually no, these are cantaloupe.
Oh, cantaloupe.
I planted a variety of cantaloupe that's called Heart of Gold.
Mm-hmm.
And then these are peas. And unfortunately, my Kentucky green beans, garden beans, did not come up. So I probably will have to plant again here. Then I have over here a lovely winter squash. It's a buttercup squash, which kind of looks like an acorn squash, kind of doesn't, and I've never tried it, but I have one in the kitchen to try.
That's the first plant. Looks like that you've had animals nibbling on the leaves.
Mm-hmm. And it's a type of spaghetti squash. And then this is a different type of plant again. And I think that's a different variety of squash.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the types of tags that I use for marking everything have come out in the rain.
The rain washed a lot of stuff off.
So it's really rather frustrating there.
So what's over here? I'm coming up on now.
You're coming to the end of my peas, my bush peas.
Right, bush peas.
And then these are cauliflower.
Oh, cauliflowers, okay.
And then the next two bags are broccolis.
Okay, broccoli. Well, one's coming up well or better than the other. Are they the same type?
They're both the same variety of broccolis. They are getting roughly the same amount of sunlight. They're in the same type of bag and they've been watered the same. So I'm not sure why.
Okay, and then...
But the cauliflowers got a head start on the broccolis because I used starters. I didn't use seeds.
Okay.
Because the cauliflowers I planted from seed did not grow.
This one looks like it's being nibbled on too.
Yes, these ones are. And these are watermelons.
Wow. What do I do to keep the water? Maybe if I put soap out. Soap seems to keep animals away.
But I don't know if it's being nibbled on by rodents or if they're being nibbled on by eggs. By bugs.
Insects.
So
then what do we have?
These are 2 tomatoes, and they're the best growing of my tomatoes so far.
Well, they're coming out
They're
nice,
Brandywine
nice
tomatoes.
and thick too, those stalks.
And then this is a cucumber, a Sumter cucumber. And unfortunately, my pumpkins here did not grow.
Huh. Okay.
Then these are Danvers carrots. This whole section is made up of beets, I believe. And then the next section is turnips.
And this looks like something's been nibbling on the turnip greens.
Yes, my turnip greens are very sad this year. And then I have radishes, and my radishes are doing beautifully well. I always have a bumper crop of radishes. I've yet to have a bad year with them. These are a mixed color of radishes, so it'll be interesting to see which ones grow. And then here at the very end, if you want to come around, here at the very end is a mixed variety of carrots that are multicolored carrots. Now these seeds are probably one of my oldest bags of seeds that I use, and that's kind of part of why I have a sporadic growth. And then I have cabbages.
Cabbages.
I have 6 cabbages growing here. They all were bought at the store to give them a bit of a head start in the hopes that I'd actually get some nice cabbage heads. And
looks like they're starting to form too.
yes, it's been just chill enough that it should form. I'm hoping that we'll get really nice.
Yeah, we had a low of 58 last night.
And then this is a eggplant.
Okay. Very good. Well, I would say the garden is growing very well, and this has been a great project so far.
Yep, the radishes should be ready to pick in about 2 weeks.
Yep. And for those that wanted to know what she planted, now you know. So I hope you've enjoyed the short live video. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.